Spoilers ahead. If you are not caught up with Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 149, please click out and catch up and come back. The Zenin Clan, one of the big three families. The number one thing they value is a strong curse technique. Nothing else matters to them but power. They have rejected Toji, rejected Maki, and Mai, even though she had a curse technique herself. In their eyes, it was nothing special. Mai wanted her and Maki just to live and be at the bottom, not becoming a Jujutsu sorcerer and just serving the family. But her sister, Maki, had other plans. As we know, Maki and Mai enjoyed life as kids with no worries. Even though Maki couldn't sense any cursed spirits or see them, they seemed somewhat happy as kids. It was only when they got older that they start to distance themselves from each other. Maki wanted to prove them wrong. She wanted to spite them. She left the Zenin clan, but with a declaration that she will one day become the head. As she said this, Nobito Zenin, the clan leader, laughed, claiming that he would put her through trials befitting such a claim, including Mai. As a result, Mai was forced to join to become a sorcerer as well. Later on, resenting Maki for breaking her promise of leaving her and not staying to live out her life at the bottom. Now, why were they at the bottom? Like I stated, the Zenin clan value strong curse techniques above all else. Mai's technique, construction. On paper, it's an incredible technique, a technique that utilizes a large sum of cursed energy to create something from nothing. She utilizes this technique with her marksmanship and typically uses it to create a bullet. Because of how taxing this technique is, she can only use it to create a bullet once per day. Maki. She was born with a heavenly restriction. She had no curse energy or technique, could not sense the curses or see them. What is a heavenly restriction? A binding placed on a sorcerer at birth in exchange for giving up something or even having a certain condition. In return, you are granted capabilities in other areas. For Maki, similar to Toji, they were both granted superhuman strength in exchange for having zero cursed energy from birth. Maki and Mai's whole life has been a hell just because of their misfortune for not having a passed down cursed technique, or particularly a strong one within the Zenin family. Nobito and Naoya possessed one of the two passed down techniques, projection sorcery, allowing the sorcerer to divide 1 second into 24 frames and have a predetermined set of movements to execute within that 1 second time frame. Or even Megumi Fushiguro, son of Toji Fushiguro, born sometime after Toji left the clan, possessing the 10 shadows technique, an ability medium using shadows where the sorcerer is able to summon Shikigami. This ability in the Zenin clan is particularly the most ideal, as the old head of the family had this technique and was able to defeat the Gojo head using this ability. During the school event, we found out how much Mai hated Maki for leaving her, for breaking her promise. We found out how the Zenin clan was preventing Maki from becoming anything above a grade 4 sorcerer, even though she had the potential of a grade 2 sorcerer, at least, stated by Mei Mei as she was talking to Satoru Gojo. Throughout the story, there are arcs where Maki's potential is displayed. Just to name a few, the Sister School event, and during the Shibuya incident. And within the Shibuya incident, Maki herself sees her own potential, witnessing Toji's greatness in front of her, as he grabs Playful Cloud from her hand and proceeds to dominate Dogon in a fight. But now we move a little bit more current within the story. Maki has survived the Shibuya incident, but not unscathed. In chapter 144, we see her most visible injury, the burn scars on her face. Now, she also dons short hair and has her new modded Jujutsu uniform that kinda makes her look like a Jedi. Honestly, a really cool design, despite all the injuries. Fast forward to chapter 146, we get Maki wanting to go to the Zenin clan warehouse to prepare for the culling game and to retrieve Gojo from the prison realm held by Kenjaku. And with Megumi being declared the clan head thanks to the stipulation made between Toji and Nobito, she should have no issues in doing so. And now this is where any and all redemption from the Zenin clan ceases, as what happens next in these two chapters changes everything. Chapter 148. Maki returns home and is greeted by Naoya, the same one who claimed that Maki is pretty but doesn't support a man, the same man who claims any woman who can't walk 3 steps behind a man should get stabbed and die. Naoya is one crazy character, that goes without question. So they had their back and forth, Naoya asking what she would do about her face, Maki not surprised, saying, "I thought you looked at a woman's ass, not face." Judging by the banter, they are not fond of each other at all. But we definitely get that confirmation when Naoya mentions how he used to bully Maki and wanted to go back to those days since he's been so lonely. Ignoring him, Maki moves on to the warehouse. She is then greeted by the same woman that was with Naoya in previous chapters. She tried to stop her from going in, held up the key to the warehouse, and mentioned that the new clan head said it was fine. Then we get a flashback to Megumi and Maki. They're talking, and here we learn a bit more about Maki's motives. Maki tells Megumi, "You are now in charge of the family fortune and private information of the 3 families and Jujutsu headquarters." However, Megumi did not care about the Zenin, saying to Maki, "Why don't you do it, Maki?" Maki, triggered, exclaims, "No one would accept me the way I am now." She explains that Megumi has a family inherited curse technique and even a domain expansion, but Megumi comes back and says, "All of that does not matter to me. Acceptance from the clan, acknowledgement, you could get all of this if you become head." And right here is where we get the inner motives of Maki. Before, we knew that she wanted to become the clan head and be a Jujutsu sorcerer to spite the family, which is why she left. But another reason was to, and I quote, "create a place where Mai would feel like she belongs." Keep this in mind. With this new motive revealed, Megumi understood. "For once, make me glad that I gave birth to you, Maki." That was the woman stopping Maki from going inside. Maki's own mother, ignoring her words. She unlocks the warehouse and enters. She is greeted by her father and Mai injured on the ground. This was in a way a setup, as Maki's father Ogi knew she would be here. Junichi explains to Naoya about what's about to happen to Maki and Mai. To summarize, they don't want Megumi to be in charge of the family fortune, just like Naoya, but Megumi is an overall better candidate. He could mend relations with the Gojo clan, and he seems to be close with the future head of the Kamo clan. Getting rid of him would be foolish, at least without a reason. Junichi brings up rules from the Jujutsu higher-ups. Rule number 2. Satoru Gojo has been deemed an accomplice in the Shibuya incident and is thus permanently exiled from the Jujutsu world. Furthermore, removing his seal will be considered a criminal act. Because of this rule, they will kill Megumi, Maki, and Mai and claim them as rebels plotting to free Satoru Gojo. And doing so would increase trust with the Jujutsu headquarters in Ogi. And the one who thought of this plan, Maki's own father, Ogi Zenin. Maki and Ogi proceed to prep for battle. Ogi with this passed down Zenin family technique, the falling blossom emotion. Maki with her new weapon, created by Juzo Komiya, Dragon Bone, a weapon that takes cursed energy and uses it as a propellant and ejects that energy out from the back of the blade. The result? A swift back and forth and a clash of blades, leading to Maki quickly being beaten with Ogi's blade broken by Maki. But the blade seems to be reconstructed, with the broken half being cursed energy. As she falls, Ogi claims the reason he could not become the clan head was because his children are worthless. Chapter 149. Maki and Mai are dragged off by their father as he explains to Maki why she is no good and should have predicted that he could do something with his broken blade due to him being a sorcerer and not a swordsman. He again mentions that he couldn't become head because of his daughters. His brother Nabito's curse technique had not much of a history in the clan, so his technique was not a major factor, but mostly came down to the quality of children. Naoya, being Nabito's son, Ogi, throws them away in a room full of curses grade 2 and lower. They were wounded to the point where they could not do anything to protect themselves. Before he leaves, he tells them, "Farewell, you are the stain on my life." Just from everything that had been revealed in these past 2 chapters, we can see why Toji left. We can see why Mai didn't want to be a bother to the clan and just live out a life serving within the family. We can see why Maki left the clan claiming that she will one day become the head. With their parents, we can see where the stress for these two began to grow and what turned them into the sisters that they are today. Mai checks for Maki's heartbeat, and she sighs in relief. Maki wakes up on a beach with Mai next to her. Mai explains that she should understand her curse technique, that she can't make anything big or complicated, and once she makes something, due to her heavy injuries, she will die. She gets up and walks down the beach and says, "Good luck and goodbye." Maki tells her to come back. Maki turns and tells her, "I knew a long time ago why twins are not conducive to success as sorcerers." She then explains, "To gain something, you must first offer something, and I'm not just talking about binding vow. In the same way suffering makes us stronger, for us twins, that rule doesn't apply. After all, curse techniques treat identical twins as one individual. Get it? You are me, and I am you. Even if you work insanely hard because you want to get stronger, there's no point, because I don't want to get stronger. And if you don't have curse technique, but I do, then there's no point. As long as I'm around, you, Maki, will never fully develop." She's basically saying no matter what Maki does, she will never reach her full potential due to them being twins. They are in a sense one person. If they aren't on the same page in terms of wanting to grow stronger, it's useless what Maki does. We still don't know how Toji grew to the point that he got. All we know is that he had heavenly restriction as well. But for Toji, one thing is for certain. He left it all behind. So now, Mai wants to help Maki reach her goal. The same person wanting to live out a life in the clan wanted to help Maki be the person she strives for. But that doesn't go along with what Maki wants, which is to make a better place for Mai. But Mai made her decision. Maki, running towards Mai, says, "I'll leave only this." She puts something in her hand and she opens it. It's revealed to be an olive branch, a symbol for peace, and whatever disagreement or point of contention they had, it ceases with Mai reaching out with that olive branch. "I'll leave only this, throw the west away. I'll take the cursed energy and everything with me, but promise me one thing, destroy everything, everything, big sister." A new promise in a sense, a binding vow, a new declaration between sisters, the beginning of the end for the poorly ran Zenin Clan. Maki wakes up, begging for Mai to get back up as well, as the curse is moving close. Ogi senses that the curses are gone. He sees Maki placing Mai against the wall. He then remembers, as he looks at Maki, as he remembers that fear. Something he tried to forget, but seeing Maki, it came back. The same demeanor, the same person with heavenly restriction, the same person that loathed the family. Yet again, the embodiment of what Toji was and what he represented came before Ogi. He quickly got in his stance, a fire technique ready to burn Maki down as he proclaimed ready to fight, and as he was talking, his head was already cut in two. Mai, let's get this started. It's very clear that Maki and Mai, together with the newfound determination in Maki, that the family will start to crumble under Maki's hand. From here on out, chapter 149 and beyond, we know for a fact that Ogi's death will trigger the family and want the death of Maki. What will her mother think? What will Junichi and Naoya do? Anything could happen, but we know for sure with my sacrifice that Maki will be able to reach a new potential. Looking on at chapter 149 and beyond, one of two things could happen. Maki could try and leave the Zenin estate with Mai. The only person she may run into could be her mother. I think her mother may let her possibly escape, understanding why she did it. But we really don't know how the mother actually feels about the family. Maki could end up turning her blade against her. I would say the latter may be most likely. I don't think she would go and kill Naoya or Junichi alone, as even that may be a tall order. However, every Zenin Clan member that has done her wrong should definitely watch out. When Mai asked to destroy everything, this could mean the system itself. Favoring some over others, the mistreatment of family members, how they choose a clan head, this could all change with Maki. However, I do think Maki may prioritize getting Gojo first, retrieving him. Gojo being someone who also wants to see his students change the way things work as well would make sense within the Jujutsu world. Either way, I do think an inevitable fight between Maki and the bully Naoya will definitely happen. She may not know it, but she will be fighting for not only Mai, but Toji Fushiguro, the man who killed Gojo in the Star Plasma Vessel arc, the man who defeated Geta one-on-one, the man who left it all behind with his heavenly restriction. How you are born should not determine how you are treated for the rest of your life. Cursed technique or not, in the world of Jujutsu, just by having a great technique does not mean or guarantee you will be the best. Finally, with Maki's father dead, I believe Maki will find some special grade curse tool within the Zenin Clan estate that will help her in battle. Maybe something on par with Inverted Spear? Who knows? Or maybe even Playful Cloud. Either way, this marks the beginning of change and destruction for the Zenin Clan. Guys, I appreciate you guys checking out this video. Thanks for watching, and let me know your predictions on what may happen past chapter 149 and beyond. Let me know what you think will happen to the Zenin Clan, what will maybe happen to Maki, just anybody. I really want to hear your thoughts on this. I'll continue to make videos on this. I'll continue to review Jujutsu Kaisen. And yeah, like and subscribe. And again, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you enjoyed.